Welcome everybody once again. So this is our second class for module 3. We are studying moment distribution method. So last class I told you some of the basics about moment distribution method. What are the advantages? How we can apply this moment distribution method? What do you mean by stiffness? And the different prepositions of stiffness. That is when the far end is hinged, the stiffness is equal to 3 EI by L. When the far end is fixed, stiffness is equal to 4 EI by L. And when the far end is fixed and when there is a moment mu at the near end, this mu will induce a moment mu by 2 at the far end in the same direction. So these things we saw, and we saw the proof also. So all these things we saw in our first class. So this is our second class. Yesterday I missed a concept, that is relative stiffness. I forgot to tell you what is relative stiffness. So let us see what is relative stiffness. This will be very helpful for you while solving the problems. So what is relative stiffness? So we know stiffness is nothing but stiffness is the moment required to produce unit rotation. Now, relative stiffness is, and we know, see, when the far end is hinged, the relative stiffness K is equal to 3EI by L. And when the far end is fixed, the stiffness is not relative stiffness, it is stiffness. Stiffness is equal to 4EI by L. Now, what is the relative stiffness? That is relating these both. So, in the same joint, when you have two cases, both fixed as well as hinged support. So, this is your joint B, A, C. So, A is hinged support, C is fixed support. In such cases, you can use relative stiffness. So, what is relative stiffness? So, we know, see, the ratio, that is when the far end is hinged is to far end fixed. So, we have two cases. For the hinged, when far end is hinged, our stiffness is 3EI by L1. You can take 3EI1 by L1 for the first member. Okay. And far end is hinged, fixed. When the far end is fixed, it is 4EI by L. So 4EI2 by L2. You can take like this, okay? So here the properties are I1 and L1. For the span BC, the properties are I2 and L2. So if this is the case, in relative stiffness, we will consider the fixed, far end fixed, the beam with the far end fixed first. This case we will consider first. So when it is far end fixed, we will relate this stiffness in terms of I2 by L2. So what becomes in the far end hinged? It is 3EI1 by L1 divided by 4E. Right? So we can cancel this E and E. So what happens is, for the far end is fixed, that is your relative stiffness is also represented by K, relative stiffness K when the far end is fixed. For far end fixed, your relative stiffness K will be equal to I by L or I2 by L2, and for the far end hinged, your stiffness becomes K is equal to 3 by 4 of I1 by L1. So this is called relative stiffness. Because the first beam, that is AB, the first span, the far end is hinged. So it is I1, L1. The second span, the far end is fixed. So it is I2, L2. Okay, suppose the cases are different. That is, we have a joint B, A is fixed and C is hinged. If this is the case, So for the first beam, we will take this as I1 L1 and this as I2 L2. That means for the far end fixed, right? For this case, our K will be equal to I1 by L1 and far end hinged. K will be equal to 3 by 4 into, here the properties are I2 L2. So I2 by L2. This is called relative stiffness. So the far end hinged is related with respect to far end is fixed. Okay. So with this, we have to move on to the problems. So before moving to the problem, I will tell you what are the steps necessary for solving this indeterminate beams using moment distribution method. So step 1, we have to calculate the fixed moments. Step 2, we have to calculate the distribution factor. So distribution factor, we know distribution factor is equal to K by sigma K. Step 3, we have to find the moment distribution using moment distribution table. And step 4, we have to find the final end moments. And step 5, in order to draw the bending moment diagrams, we need the simple beam moment diagram. Simple beam moments. So these are the essential things you require for analyzing a continuous beam using moment distribution method. So with this, we will move on to our problem. So our problem is, first problem. Okay, we'll write the problem first. So your problem is a continuous beam ABCD consists of 3 span and is loaded as shown in figure. Ends A and D are fixed. Determine the bending moment at the supports and plot the bending moment diagram. Okay, so this is our problem. Okay, now, so our given diagram is, it is a 3-span continuous beam A, B, C, D. So we will draw our diagram first. So A and D, it is given A and D are fixed. B and C. So this is B, C. The span AB is 6 meter long. Span BC is 5 meter long. Span CD is also 5 meter long. Now the loading conditions given are in the span AB. In the span AB we have 2 kilonewton per meter UDL. 2 kilonewton per meter. In the span BC, at a distance of 3 meter from B, we have a 5 kilonewton loading, concentrated load at a distance of 3 meter from B. And in the span CD, at the middle of the span, you have a concentrated load of 8 kilonewton. So this distance is 2.5 meter. Now the properties given are the span AB. The span AB, the moment of inertia is I. For the span BC, the moment of inertia is 2I. For the span CD, the moment of inertia is I. So these are the things given. Now we will move on to our problem. So our step 1, our first step is to find the fixed end moments. So you all know how to find the fixed end moments, right? So we have to find the fixed end moments. So we know already we have studied in our second module in the slope deflection method how to determine the fixed end moments. So we will consider each span, and for every span we will assume the ends are fixed, and if it is an UDL it is plus or minus WL square by 12. If it is a concentrated load it is minus WAB square by L square and plus WA square B by L square. And if the unit load is at the center of the span, at the middle of the span, it is WL by 8, plus or minus WL by 8. So first of all, we will consider the span AB, right? So when we consider the span AB, so AB is 6 meter long and it has a UDL of 2 kilonewton per meter. So for the span AB, our fixed end moment MFAB, that is fixed moment at AB. Fixed end moment is equal to, at the left of AB, it is minus WL square by 12. So we get minus 2 into 6 square by 12. So equal to minus 6 kilonewton meter. MFBA will be equal to plus WL square by 12. So that is equal to 2 into 6 square by 12, 6 kilonewton meter. Now we will consider the span BC. So BC is 5 meter long. It has a concentrated load of 5 kilonewton at a distance of 3 meter from B. So for the span BC, fixed end moment, that is fixed moment at B when the far end is C, is equal to minus WAB square by L square. So we get minus 5 into, here the distance A is 3 meter, B is 2 meter. So it is minus 5 into 3 into 2 square divided by L is 5. So 5 square. We get minus 2.4 kilonewton meter. Now MFCB is equal to WA square B by L square. So it is 5 into 3 square into 2 by 5 square. We get 3.6 kilonewton meter. Now we will consider the span CD. So for the span CD, it is 5 meter long and there is a concentrated load of 8 kilonewton acting at the center of the span. So the formula is MFCD is equal to minus WL by 8. That is minus 8 into L is 5 divided by 8. So we get minus 5. Minus 5 kilonewton meter. And MFDC is equal to WL by 8. It is 8 into 5 by 8. We get it as 5 kilonewton meter. Now, we will move on to our second step. Second step is we have to determine the distribution factor. Okay. So step 2 I will write here. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So step 2, we have to find the distribution factors. So for finding the distribution factors, you have to open a tabular column. Okay, so for that, first you have to consider the joins. So here, how many joins are there? Just to see the diagram, we have joins B and C. A and D are end supports, end fixed supports. We have B and C as the intermediate joins. So at B, we have members BA and BC. At C, we have members CB and CD. So we will write our joins as we have two joins, one is B. So the members in the joins B are, we have BA and BC. Similarly, at the joint C, our members are CB and CD. So totally two joins. So after writing the members, you write the relative stiffness K. Find the relative stiffness. Relative stiffness K. So we know BA. See BA and BC. For BA, the far end is fixed. If the far end is fixed, our relative stiffness is I by L. So for the span BC, our relative stiffness is I by L. So relative stiffness is I by L. So I by 6. Now for the span BC, since it is intermediate support, this also should be considered as fixed support. So for the span BC also, the relative stiffness is I by L. So here for the span BC, I is given as 2I divided by L is 5. Similarly for CB, it is I by L. So for the span CB, I is given as 2I divided by 5. For CD also it is I by L. So here I is given as I and L is 5. Now we will determine sigma K. That is the summation of this relative stiffness, sigma K. So I by 6 plus 2I by 6. I by 6 plus 2I by 6. You will get 17 by 30I. And 2I by 5 plus I by 5. We will get it as 3 by 5I. Now we will write our distribution factor. We will find the distribution factor. So we know our distribution factor is K by sigma K. So the first distribution factor, that is for BA, the distribution factor will be I by 6 divided by 17I by 30. So we get 5 by 17. This is the distribution factor for BA. Similarly, for BC, the distribution factor is 2I by 5 divided by 17I by 30. We get the distribution factor as 12 by 17. For CB, the distribution factor is 2I by 5 divided by 3I by 5. We get 2 by 3. For CD, I by 5 divided by 3I by 5. We get it as 1 by 3. So over. So this is our distribution factor. Now we will move on to our moment distribution table. Okay. So we will write here moment distribution table. That will be our step 3. So step 3 is moment distribution. So for moment distribution, we have to open a tabular column. So first you have to consider the joins. Okay. So how many joins are there? So we know our span, our beam is like this, right? So A, D, B and C. So our joins are A, B, C and D. And what are the members joining in our joins? That is the second thing. So at A we have AB. At B we have BA and BC. So we have BA and BC. At C we have CB and CD. So here it is a CB and CD. At D we have DC. DC. Okay. So A, our joins are ABCD. Our members are AB, BA. See AB and BA. This forms one span, AB. Okay. See this span is AB. AB. Now this span is BC. And this span is CD. Okay. So the distribution of moment will be between this span, between these two members, AB and BA. The distribution of moments will be between AB and BA, between BC and CB, between CD and DC. So it is better to draw a line like this. You draw a line from B. Straight line, okay? Draw a straight line. So from C you can draw a straight line. Okay. So that means see AB and BA. This is one span. This is second span. This is our third span. Now you write the distribution factors. Okay, we will write the distribution factors. So we have already found the distribution factors. That is for BA. At joint B, BA, the distribution factor is 5 by 17. And for BC, the distribution factor is 12 by 17. So 5 by 17 and 12 by 17. Alright. So here it is 5 by 17 and here it is 12 by 17. These are the distribution factors. You put a line like this, okay? Now, at joint C, what are the distribution factors? So at joint C, for CB, the distribution factor is 2 by 3. For CD, the distribution factor is 1 by 3. So 2 by 3 and 1 by 3, right? So the distribution factors are 2 by 3 and 1 by 3. So now we will our next step is to write the fixed end moments. See, be very careful. If you understand, this is very easy. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So now we will write the fixed end moments. Now our problem starts. So fixed end moments, we have already found it. What is fixed end moment? M of AB, what is M of BA, what is M of BC, what is M of CB, etc. We have already determined. So from that, listen. So that is our first step. So fixed end moments are minus 6, 6, minus 2.4, 3.6. For CD it is minus 5 and for DC it is 5. So you have to write these values here. So for AB it is minus 6 kilonewton meter. For BA it was plus 6. For BC it was minus 2.4 kilonewton meter. For CB it was plus 3.6. For CD it was minus 5 and for DC it was plus 5. So our fixed end moment is over. See, here the concept is moment and balance it. Write the moment, balance it. Write the moment, balance it. Okay. Now we will write the balance. So how will we write the balance? So here, how do you balance is, see at joint B, balancing is at joint B and joint C using the distribution factors. So here how you can do is add these both. See, you add these both. Plus 6 minus 2.4. When you add, you get, I will add plus 6 minus 2.4, we get 3.6. We get 3.6. So 3.6 multiplied by 5 by 17. We get 1.06. So since it is plus positive, for balancing you have to put the negative sign. So it is minus 1.06. So here it is minus 1.06. You add plus 6 minus 2.4, we get 3.6 multiplied by 5 by 17. Again for BC, you add these both, that is plus 6 minus 2.4, it is 3.6 multiplied by 12 by 17, 12 by 17, we get 2.54. So for balancing, it is minus 2.54. Same way at joint C, for CB, add this plus 3.6 minus 5. 3.6 minus 5, we get minus 1.4. So minus 1.4 into 2 by 3, we get minus 0.93. So here it is plus 0.93. Now plus 3.6 minus 5, it is 1.4, minus 1.4. So minus 1.4 into 1 by 3, we get minus 0.47. So for balancing, it is plus 0.47. Now, since it is fixed supports, the ends, right? Only one member, we don't have any distribution factor and we don't have any moments here. Now we will see our first iteration is over. First iteration is over. Now we have to do carry over. This is called moment, carry over moment. We call it as carry over. Carry over, that is the moment is carried. See how the moment is carried. എങ്ങനെയാ moment carry ചെയ്യുന്നത് വെച്ചാൽ, see between these spans, ഈ spanil A യും B യും തമ്മിൽ carry ആവും. പിന്നെ B യും C യും തമ്മിൽ carry ആവും. C യും D യും തമ്മിൽ carry ആവും. So this carry over is between, for the span AB, between B and C and between C and D. Okay. So how this carry over is done? See, this is fixed. See, A is fixed. If A is fixed, from A, no moment is carried to B. But the moment from B, the moment is carried to A. That was our third proposition. If the far end is fixed, then half of the moment will be carried to the far end in the same direction. That was our third proposition. That is mu dash is equal to mu by 2. Moment at the near end, moment at the far end will be equal to moment at the near end divided by 2. That was our third proposition we are going to use here. Appo, see, from the fixed end, load do not carry, but the load is carried from the intermediate support towards the fixed support. So, now in the span AB, this half of this moment will be carried to A. So, minus 1.06 divided by 2, we get minus 0.53. Half of this is carried to A. So, minus 1.06 divided by 2, we get minus 0.53. See, from A, nothing is carried because this is fixed. Now, between B and C, half will be carried to the other end because B and C are considered as intermediate supports. So, they will be assumed as fixed supports. So, half will be carried from C to B and from B to C. So, what happens is from this minus 2.54 divided by 2, we get minus 1.27. Here it is plus 0.93 divided by 2, we get plus 0.46. So, 0.46 plus. Now, since this is fixed support, no load is carried over to C, but from C to D, it is carried. So, the load carried will be 0.47 divided by 2, it is 0.24. Now, we have to do our balance. As usual, we have to do the balance as we did in the last step. So, what is balance here? Here you don't have any moment. Here we have 0.46. Carryover moment is 0.46. So 0.46, it is positive. 0.46 multiplied by 5 by 17. We get 0.14. 0.14, because it is plus, you give minus 0.14. Similarly, 0.46 multiplied by 12 by 7, we get 0.32. So, it is minus 0.32. Now, here it is minus 1.27. Here we don't have. So, 0. So, minus 1.27 multiplied by 2 by 3. We get minus 0.85. So, it is plus 0.85. Now, minus 1.27 into 1 by 3. We get minus 0.42. So, it is plus 0.42. Here we don't have any balance. Now again carry over. Second iteration, right? Next iteration. We will carry over the moments. So carry over and then you have to balance. So when you are carrying over, from the fixed end it do not carry. From B it is carrying. So how much? Minus 0.14 divided by 2, we get minus 0.07. Here from C to B and from B to C, 0.85 divided by 2, we get 0.42 plus 0.42. Here minus 0.32 divided by 2, we get minus 0.16. Now from here, this is carried over. This is fixed end. So, here we do not carry. Here it is 0.42 divided by 2. It is plus 0.21. Now we will balance it. So while balancing, since it is fixed end, no. So here it is 0.42. So 0.42 multiplied by 5 by 17. So we get 0.12. So it is minus minus 0.12. Again 0.42 multiplied by 12 by 17 we get 0.3. So it is minus 0.3. Now minus 0.16 minus 0.16 multiply by 2 by 3 we get minus 0.11. So it is plus 0.11. Now minus 0.16 multiplied by 1 by 3 we get minus 0.05. So it is plus 0.05. Here there is no balancing. So now once again next step again carry over. So carry over then balance. Okay. See, when it is carrying over, minus 0.12 divided by 2, we get minus 0.06. Now here in between B and C, from B to C and from C to B. So 0.11 divided by 2, we get plus 0.05. And minus 0.3 divided by 2 we get minus 0.15. Now from fixed support there is no carryover. From intermediate support carrying over, so 0.05 divided by 2 we get 0.02. Now we will balance it as usual. So balancing it is plus 0.05 multiplied by 5 by 17 we get 0.01. So it is plus 0.01. So here it is minus 0.01 for balancing. And plus 0.05 multiplied by 12 by 17 we get plus 0.03. So here it is minus 0.03. Now at the joint C it is minus 0.15 multiplied by 2 by 3 we get minus 0.1. So balancing is plus 0.10. Now minus 0.15 multiplied by 1 by 3 we get minus 0.05. So it is plus 0.05. Now once again we will go for carry over and then balance. See, we will do some 5 iteration. See, balance you see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5th balance you can stop. So last step it is balance and carry over. The reason is the far ends are fixed. That is why it is balance and carry over. You have to stop by writing balance and carry over. See, now there is no rule in the number of iterations. As you increase the number of iteration, our solution will be more accurate. You can stop with 2 iteration, you can stop with 3 iteration, but based on that, the accuracy of your answer will be reduced. The accuracy will be reduced. Okay, in order to get more accuracy, more accurate, you can go for more number of iterations. You can go for 10 iterations, 15 iterations, etc. But 5 is okay. If you don't have time while writing the university exam, you can stop with the 3 or 4 also. Okay, so there will be some little error. So last carry over. As usual, I am carrying this from minus 0.01 divided by 2, it is a minus 0.005. I will stop with this. So here carry over plus 0.10 divided by 2, it is plus 0.05. Here it is minus 0.03 divided by 2, it is minus 0.015. I will write it as 0.02. So from here it is carrying over 0.05 divided by 2, it is 0 plus 0.02. Now I will go for balance and carryover. So as usual, balance 0.05 multiplied by 5 by 17, we get minus 0. We get plus 0.02. So it is minus 0.02. And here it will be minus 0.04. At C, the values are plus 0.01 and plus 0.01. Okay, so balancing is over. Now how will you carry this? How will you carry this? See, this is carried to the end. This is the last step. So 0.02 divided by 2, that is minus 0.01. Here this is carried to the fixed support. So plus 0.01 divided by 2, we get plus 0.005. Okay. So with this we will stop. So after stopping, we will find the final moments. So how will we determine our final moments? So this is our final moment. So final moments are, you add all these things. Okay. Under AB, this is at A. At A, when the far end is B, in the span AB at A, for the span AB at A, the final end moments are minus 6, minus 0.53, minus 0.07, minus 0.06, minus 0.00, minus 0.01. You add all these things, you get minus 6.67. This is your final moment, that is MAB. MAB is minus 6.67. Now, MBA will be plus 6, minus 1.06, minus 0.14, minus 0.12, minus 0.01, minus 0.02. You get 4.65. Now, for the span BC at B, minus 2.4, minus 2.54, plus 0.46, minus 0.32, plus 0.42, minus 0.3, plus 0.05, minus 0.03, plus 0.05, minus 0.04. Add all these, we get minus 4.65. So see, at the intermediate support B, it is plus 4.65, minus 4.65. And the left support, left fixed support, it is minus. Okay, so you should be very careful while getting the answer. It should be minus, right? Normally, if there is no settlement of supports, it will be minus. In the left end, it will be minus if it is fixed. Intermediate support, it will be plus and minus. Same way, at C, you will get plus 4.00. You add all moment and carryover and balancing moments. Carryover moment and balancing moments. You add everything. You will get plus 4. Here you will get minus 4. And at the end you get plus 5.49. So these are your final moments. So now we will write our step 4. Our final moments we will write. Just you take this and write. Okay. So final moments. We will write here so that it will be easy for us to write. Okay. So step 4. Our step 4 is final moments. So we have obtained our final moments as MAB is equal to minus 6.67 kilonewton meter. MBA is equal to plus 4.65 kilonewton meter. MBC is equal to minus 4.65 kilonewton meter. MCB is equal to plus 4.0 kilonewton meter. MCD is equal to minus 4.0 kilonewton meter. And MDC is equal to plus 5.49 kilonewton meter. This is your answer. Now we will draw our bending moment diagrams. Okay. So how will we draw our bending moment diagram? For an indeterminate structure, we know So AD, first of all, we have to draw the simple beam moment diagram. So we will calculate the simple beam moments, right? So step 5, we will calculate the simple beam moments. So you all know how to calculate the simple beam moments. So the simple beam moments are for the span AB. For the span AB, you have an UDL. So our M max will be equal to WL square by 8. We get 2 into 6 square by 8. That is 9 kilonewton meter. For the span BC, our M max will be equal to WAB by L. So W is 5, A is 3, B is 2 divided by 5, we get 6 kilonewton meter. And for the span CD, our M max is equal to WL by 4. So we get 8 into 5 by 4, that is 10 kilonewton meter. So 9, 6 and 10, right? 9, 6, 10. We will remember this. We will write here. We will draw the simple beam moment first. So our simple beam moment is, first for the UDL, it will be a parabola. Our M max is 9 kilonewton meter, right? So it is a parabola. Parabola, and the maximum is 9 kilonewton meter at the center of the span AB. So for BC, the maximum will occur at the application of concentrated load, and we found the moment is 6 kilonewton meter, right? So here 6 will be somewhere here. So here it is a 6 kilonewton meter. At the span CD, the moment is 10 kilonewton meter. It will act at the center of the span. It's not coming properly. Okay, we will draw. Okay, so this is 10 kilonewton meter. Now we will draw our final end moments. So we will take another color. Okay, so final end moments, we know at MAB it is minus 6.67. BA it is plus 4.65 and minus 4.65. At C it is plus 4 and minus 4, and at D it is plus 5.49. Okay, so these values. So first it is minus 6.67. So 6.67 kilonewton meter. At B it is 4.65. 4.65 kilonewton meter. At C it is 4 kilonewton meter. And at D it is 5.49 kilonewton meter. So here we will draw the magnitude. We will join from this to this. Join from this to this. So join and join. Okay. So here, see, this is negative. This is positive, negative, positive, negative and positive. And the negative. See, at the supports we have negative bending moment, that is hogging bending moment. And at the center of the supports we have, at the center of the span we have sagging bending moment. That is positive bending moments. That is the meaning of that. Okay. So now, so this is our bending moment diagram. So how will we draw our deflection diagram from this? So our deflection diagram will be, this is D, this is A. So while drawing the deflection diagram, we have our hinge. Another hinge will be forming here. B, and this is support C. So our bending moment diagram becomes, sorry, our deflection diagram is drawn like this. Okay, so this is our deflection diagram. Now, if shear force diagram is asked, you can find it using your equilibrium, static equilibrium equations, as we have studied it in detail in our first module. So same procedure you can follow for finding the shear force. So we will stop here. So what we have seen is the relative stiffness, the procedure. Then we saw our continuous analysis of a continuous beam with the fixed ends. A 3-span continuous beam with a fixed end. Okay, so this is our given problem. Step 1, we found the fixed end moments. Fixed end moments. Step 2, the distribution factors. Step 3, the moment distribution. This is an iteration process. So we can stop with 5 iterations. You can, that is your choice. As you go on for large number of iterations, your solution will be accurate. So, okay. So important thing is carryover moment and balance. You have to write the joints, members, distribution factor, fixed end moment, balance, then carryover moments and balancing moments. Now, after this, we will write our final end moments. Step 4, our final end moments. And after that, for drawing, for the purpose of drawing our bending moment diagram, we need the simple beam moments. For that, we have calculated the simple beam moments also. After that, we have drawn the bending moment diagram, and from that, we have drawn the deflection diagram also. And if shear force is required, you can find the shear forces. You can find the reactions and then shear force diagram using our static equilibrium conditions. We have studied it in detail in our first module. So, thank you.